Hi. So we are in the middle of the of our ETL journey, which is transformation. So we'll be looking towards data flow concepts. So streaming features of cloud data flow. That's basically the two characteristics that defines data flow is it's scalable and it's low latency. Otherwise, it's just a processing system that processes batch or stream data. It's implementation of Apache Beam ecosystem, or you can also have your Apache Spark jobs running in Dataflow or your Hadoop jobs. So these are the basic two qualities that contributes towards data flow. That means it is highly scalable and it is very low latency. It has basically. So continuing with our data processing problems or courses, that first thing that we found is that unbounded p collection. That means in case of batch data, you know the length of the data, so it is bounded. But in case of streaming data, it's just increasing, ever growing data. Second thing is your pipeline, and third thing is your streaming job. Okay, so are the challenges that we're gonna facing when we're doing processing in a streaming data. First thing is scalable. So as the data is continuously streaming, so your storage and processing will definitely gonna increase time to time. Next thing is fault tolerant. That means even despite your volume is growing of your data, but your processing has to be resilient or fault tolerant. Third thing is model. That means is your processing system made only for streaming data, or it is also made for repeated batch. The fourth thing is timing. That means what happens to the data that arrives late. Do we discard them, or do we have any options to use them? So first thing we'll discuss here is to how to aggregate your unbounded data set. As you can see, this is your stream data. That means it's like a flow of water from a pipe, or electricity current from where it is just going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And if you want to make a measure of the data, that means you are making some moving average or some aggregation method you want to use, but you don't know from where to end, right? Because your n is basically infinite. So you don't have to worry. Dataflow has the inbuilt capability to solve all this, and by solving all this by implementing window function. Okay, so if you define these streams a very small set of time interval, that means very we can fix our timing, then we can have a start point and as well as end point. So by defining window function, we can process our stream data. Now what happens that this processing, basically this window function basically for processing is not a single one. Dataflow supports three type of window function that we'll be looking after. And you can also see that what we said earlier, that the PubSub does not guarantee you any like latency guarantees. That means you can have a late arrival of your data. Your data can arrive late, so you can write a small p transform code here, as you can see, to change this so that you can have a orderly manner data in your system. So this is the code. As I don't like Java because I trained in C# when I was doing, and after that I never touched Java. So yeah, I'm good with Python, so I'm telling you the code of Python. That build-beam.window, that beam is for Apache Beam, and we are using a window function. And timestamp value, this element is what your value captured, and this Unix timestamp is what your original time. So by doing this, you can transform the data time. Now in windowing we have three type of windows, that is, one is fixed window, one is sliding window, and another is session window. In fixed window, what happens in this circumstances, your data windowing is fixed, like for every 30 seconds or 15 seconds you have fixed that. For sliding windows you need two parameters, that means for up to how much time you want to keep the data, that means for 30 seconds suppose, and after how much time you want to move the window, that means after 5, if in each 5 second move the 30 seconds time window, that means 0 to 30 when starts, after 5 it will come to 5 to 35 and all that. Okay, so within 30 it will already start at 5 windows. And the third thing is session, that means basically suppose you are in a what happens if you are in a shopping website, after a certain time your session expired. Okay, so that's a fixed amount of time. So this is the Python code for implementation. Here beam dot window into window dot fixed window 60 for 60 seconds of fixed window. Here the same beam dot window into window dot sliding window, and first parameter 30 is the length of the window, and 5 is the your sliding amount. Okay, so if you are familiar with CNN, in CNN also you have this sliding opportunity. Okay, in OCR whenever you are dealing with computer vision, you will find this kind of concepts. And the third thing is session window. The same thing happens, that window session, that 10 cross 60 gives you a 600 seconds, that means 600 seconds of session window. That means if within 600 seconds the customer does not get out, or the event does not shut down itself, you will just flush the data out and start a new session. Okay, so if we are in ideal world, so this is where your windowing will look like. That means each data is in position, but we don't live in ideal world. In real world, system backlog, data processing delay, latency, pub sub latency, your data flow latency, this kind of things will happen. So this will accumulate towards late data arrival. Okay, so how to deal with this late data? That means, as you can see, your data 1 is expected in window 1, but it is in window 2. Your data 2 is expected in window 2, but it is in between window 2 and window 3. So this difference from its expected position to its real position where it is captured is called lag time. So how we can solve this lag time? Dataflow solve it with a method called watermark. So it gives a watermark of suppose 4 second or 6 second or 2 second, like that. So if your data is within that watermark, as you can see in your data 2, that it falls within this watermark, so it will replace or it will aggregate this data. And if your data is even like comes after your watermark, as you can see in the right hand side here, so what happens, that it will just discard the data. So this can be done with triggers. There are apart from the default trigger, which is basically using the watermark. If your data comes after the watermark, you will just discard the data. There are three types of triggers. One is event time trigger, another is processing time trigger, and another is data driven trigger. And you can also build a composite trigger by combining any of this. That means if your you have set a trigger that you will gonna encounter 20 values of data, and suppose your last data that captures, it's only 17 values, so the window will remain open forever. Okay, so what you can do, that if your first this data driven trigger fails to complete its full logic, that means it's not getting its whole 20 data, so you can then give time. That means you can define that if it's 17 if it's like the 20 data does not come within 10 minutes, then you just flush or discard the whole event. So here are some examples, and we'll let you give you more idea about how to work in Python with this kind of triggers when we'll be doing hands-on. And in Java, that I said that I don't like Java because I don't know how to write Java basically, and that's why I hate simply. So in Java you have a measure to deal with this watermark, like late arriving datas. But for Python, the simply you have to simply discard it for now, because till now there is no supported method for supporting the datas arriving beyond the watermark. Okay, now accumulation modes, what you can do with the data, like if you are seeing data in a like two pairs of data, and you don't want to do anything rather than just seeing the data, then you can discard. Or if you want to do some accumulation, like your moving average or something like that, then you have to accumulate the data rather than discarding the data. So it's based upon your business need. And next we'll be doing one lab for streaming data pipeline, and that's it. Thank you.